Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's Talking Reds. I guess you probably know why we're so happy, right? It's the same reason you're so happy, yeah?
What's happened, Mo?
Well, I don't know if you know, Paul, but Liverpool in the Champions League final. I'll say that again. Liverpool in the Champions League final after going to Rome and... Okay, we didn't win, but we came through.
We battered them 2-4.
We battered them 2-4 in the newly renamed Stadio Olimpico. We went there and we got the job done. No matter how stressful it may have been at certain points, we went there, we got the job done. We're in the Champions League final. And Paul, I mean, everything else just doesn't matter today, does it?
No. I just said to Mo walking in, it's incredible. I keep telling myself we're in the Champions League final. I feel like I keep needing to remind people. And even walking across town, I keep looking at people thinking, do you know we're in the Champions League final? Why are you going to work? Stop. Let's just go and have a drink. Why is everything...
Speaking of which, you may have noticed the stars are back. And the booze is back. Now, this wonderful red concoction, you may be wondering what exactly is in it. Well, I'll let you know. Absolute vodka. They didn't have absolute mustard, so we had to go with absolute mango instead, you know. But warming up for Kiev with a bit of vodka. And of course, nod to Jimmy Milner, a bit of Ribena as well. So yeah, this is going down remarkably nicely, I've got to tell you. Now, we can talk a little bit about the game, because it was a game that felt like it lasted about 3 years, to be brutally honest with you. There was the period really early on, the first 10 minutes, where Roma did what we expected them to do. They came out, they tried to put us under pressure straight away, and then we scored. And then it was just like, oh, I forgot that we had the ability to score a goal. And it was a fantastic goal. The first kind of breakaway, and it was so clinical. That in itself calmed me down a lot.
Yeah.
Their goal 5 minutes later, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, seriously, what are you going to do about that? But we went back in at half-time, and we got half the job done.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we were expecting it to be a little bit more tense, but how were you feeling throughout the game? Was there any point where you genuinely thought, uh-oh?
No. Seriously, no. But like, some of you will be reading my articles and stuff, and I'm genuinely like this a lot. I kept saying to my mate next to me, everyone's looking at the wrong numbers, because even when it pops up 1-1, 2-2, I was like, look at the aggregate score. We're still winning by 3 goals. At half time, we started the game and they needed to win 3-0 to go through on away goals. At half time, they were in a worse position. They only had half a game left, and they needed to score 3 just to go to take us to extra time. So all the way through, when people are losing their heads, I was like, I don't really get it. And we were laughing about this before we started recording. It's hilarious watching all the fans of opposition teams saying how lucky we were. We literally scored a goal for them by Lovren kicking it into Milner's face. That's how they equalised.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. How are you saying we're lucky to be going through?
I mean, if you do kind of want to dissect the 4 goals, then the penalty late on, again, exactly the same as the penalty last week. It's one that goes against you 1 or 2 times in 10, I'd say, maybe. The Nangolan, his first goal, the third one, again, it looks a little bit like we were tired. We didn't get out to press him quickly enough. And it was a great finish. But that goal aside, all of the other goals were put down to what we did, not what they did.
Yeah.
So, in theory, that means that if we can not do those things, then we're a lot tighter defensively and can get a lot tighter defensively. And we're always going to be a threat on attack. I mean, I would say only one of our front 3 played well.
Yeah,
if you look
100%.
go back at the game, but it was enough because they were so well drilled and they were so able to occupy them that when it came to them having the chances, they just couldn't get it over the line.
Yeah, I was saying about Mo during the game, it looked to me like he didn't want to be like mean to his old mates.
Yeah.
It was like, it's not fair this, so I'll just sort of play half. I'll do 50% today because I like these people and I don't think I need to play well for us to go through. So I think it worked out well for him.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll break the record in the other games. I've got loads of games left.
Well, he knows he's got to go in that dressing room after the game. He wants to face them.
Yeah, exactly. I genuinely look. I'm constantly looking for positives in everything. I think that's the best way to do it. It's a blessing in disguise last night the way it ended up, because halfway through the game when we were under pressure, I was saying it's because we're not committed enough to the way we play.
Yeah.
If you look at it from a proper review perspective, the number of times that the ball broke into the middle of their half and our midfield was too deep.
Yes.
And what they were worried about from the first leg is us smothering them, and that's when we're at our very best. We smother teams. So they were getting the chance to come out from the back when at Anfield they just didn't get that opportunity. No. And like Klopp said this, most of these lads have never played in a European Cup semi-final before. And for all our talk before the game, of course, the Stadio Olimpico was going to be amazing. Like there were times, even watching it in the pub, the whistling was just deafening.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, imagine playing in that
and
keeping
their part.
cool. 100%. And do you know what? It's mad watching people. I'm in a WhatsApp group with my uncles. I don't even know if they watch this. And the number of people who you'd think Liverpool getting to the Champions League final is one of the worst things that's ever happened to Liverpool. You're like, do you know what? You can't get to a Champions League final without going through some tough times and having some games where these are good. Like, they're a good team. They're going to score goals. We're going to go to a Champions League final against Real Madrid and they're going to score goals against us. That's going to happen. We've just got to score more than them. That's all it is. And we can score more than
We've
them.
been pretty good at that so far.
There we go.
I mean, I want to talk a little bit more about the atmosphere in the ground because, as we said, I mean, I said a little bit on one of the Radio City talk shows that it was going to be a similar test to the Man City game in terms of the players on the field being under pressure.
Yeah.
But in terms of the whole ambiance, the atmosphere, it was, sorry City fans, it was just another stratosphere in comparison. That cauldron. And there were times when you started to worry about how it was affecting them. There was a few iffy moments from Karius. There's a few times where Virgil had to ball people out, although I secretly suspect he kind of likes doing that. Yeah, he does. But the point is that we held out, and every tough battle that we come through victorious is going to make us better and more equipped to handle the next one. And I really do think that this group are forging amongst them a real bond, a real belief that they can take on anyone. And their reaction to us, or our representatives in Rome, of whom some are in Benidorm by now, but some of whom are still traipsing their way back across Europe. Their reaction to us and to the fans in general, that was one of the things that made me smile the most, because Neil put it really well in his match review piece, is that we want to be them, but they want to be us as well. Yeah. Like, they want to be in the stands, jumping up and down and giving it allez, allez, allez as well. And you can see it in them.
Yeah, I said immediately after the game last night when you're watching all of that, just watch the difference between the way Madrid celebrated getting to the final and the way we celebrated. We've got lads there. I love James Milner's reaction. Like, he's just loving every second of it, because he's got a point to prove as well. He left City because he said, look, they don't pick me in the big games and I want to achieve something, and he got stick for it and they've won things without him. Well, now he gets to start as a key player in a Champions League final. Exactly. And he wants to win this. And look, he's a similar age to the likes of Modric in the other side. Who do you think wants to win this Champions League more, James Milner or Luka Modric? At the end of the day, they've got the experience, they've got the nous, but they haven't got the determination, they haven't got the drive that we've got.
I mean, obviously it's the Champions League final, so it's still going to be a big deal. But like you say, all of the midfield, for example, all three of them, they've won it before. They've won it twice before. So you wouldn't be surprised if their minds start to drift towards maybe World Cup. So in terms of maybe not getting injured in the World Cup, I mean, of our starting midfield three, only one of them is going to be in the World Cup. So we're not going to have that problem. Yeah. So these are all just little things that once you start putting them together, can add up to a whole. I mean, it's going to be tough. They are Real Madrid. They are unbeaten in the competition for quite some time. But we have enough players and we have enough belief to put together a plan that it will probably mean we'll need to outscore them. I mean, it'll probably be 5-4, maybe 10.
10. I want 10 goals in a European Cup final. It's as simple as that. If everyone's watching, 10 goals. Wait, if we're 7-0 up with 10 minutes left, keep going.
Yeah. Take off Lovren and bring on Danny Ings.
Yes. Danny Ings. Imagine Danny Ings playing in a European Cup final. It's ridiculous. Even saying that makes me feel like I'm asleep.
Yeah.
Like, this could all be a dream. It could be a mad dream. I'm honest. I've got no idea what's going on.
Well, Genie broke his duck. I want to talk about Genie as well, because that means that we can no longer have to talk about he hasn't scored away from home.
I hope he never scores a goal away from home ever again. And when people say to him, have you only ever scored one goal away from home? He goes, yeah. Do you know what it was in? Champions League semi-final.
Yeah, and he got us to the final as well. That was the crucial goal, as it turned
100%.
out. It felt a little bit like Vladdy Spitzer, definitely. Like that one moment that's going to hopefully define his Liverpool career. And I was so pleased for him because he really put it in that performance. And again, coming in at short notice in the game. I mean, people forget as well how hard it is to come on as a sub that early in a game because you're mentally thinking, I'm not going to be needed right now. And then when you do come in, I mean, Thiago for Bayern Munich came on at a similar time in his first leg and he had a terrible game. So big shout out to Genie on that one. Again, it feels a little bit contrite to talk about individuals, which was such a collective team that we are. I want to point out two lads though. Sadio Mane in particular got the first goal and was superb throughout the game in terms of causing their defenders a problem all the time, holding the ball up. He really did the perfect job for the team there. And in a season where he's almost been the third man in the trio, I think it was a really great time for him to come up and step up.
Yeah, 100%. He was phenomenal. And as you said before, I don't think the other two played that well. No. And so it was, I know I was joking about it last week about his twin brother playing in the first leg and being shite. And luckily enough, the main man turned up last night. Phenomenal. Like is the way his game's developed, and Klopp must be made up with this as well. With the whole, I remember Sean Rodgers mentioning when we sold Coutinho, because I wasn't happy about selling Coutinho and not replacing him. And one of the things Sean Rodgers said, which I thought was brilliant on the review show, was what you've got to bear in mind is with these footballers is they won't all be crying about Phil Coutinho leaving. No. There'll be a few of them going, made up, he's gone. Like Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's gone, well, I get an opportunity now. The way Mane's developed his role, obviously under the guidance of the coaches and the manager, just been phenomenal. The way he's turned into like this number 10 who's so clever with the ball, and just he was actually the one in the whole team holding it up and taking the pressure off, and just an amazing performance.
It was, really and good. I couldn't be happy for him. Another guy I couldn't be happier for. I've never really been into the idea of having players' names on your shirt because it almost feels a little bit like you support the player, don't support the team, and then what happens if he then puts a transfer request in, it all gets awkward. Next season, I'm getting a Liverpool shirt with 26 on the back. And Andrew Robertson is blazoned across the back.
As you've been doing this, I was thinking, I wonder who he's going to say. And I was thinking, if you don't say Robertson, I'm bringing up Robertson.
Well, to be honest, the only reason that I was worried about it before is because I thought if I've got Robbo in the back of my shirt, Gareth will start thinking that I was doing it for him.
Yeah, I was thinking that the other week. Isn't it mad that Robbo here is not the best Robbo that we all know?
No, and I'm not the best Mo.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Oh. Okay, but no. This is the beauty of him as a man, and that performance last night. I mean, the amount of times that he did really little things that didn't seem massive in the scheme of the game, but the amount of times he took the pressure off by taking the ball under pressure, delivering it onto the next person, driving through two Roma players, and getting us back on the front foot, making them have to turn around, run back, and. There was a couple of times when Cengiz Ünder came on after about half an hour into the second half, where they tried to get at him where he was running from out to in, and he was a little late a couple of times, but they only did it twice. By that point, by the second time, he switched on. He knew what it was coming, and he was able to snuff it out. And again, talking about where he's come from, he was getting relegated less than a year ago to the Championship with Hull City. He probably thought, well, I don't even know what he thought, but I guarantee you what he didn't think is he didn't think that he'd be in the Champions League final 12 months later. And he's absolutely deserved it. Every single time that he's taken to the pitch for Liverpool, he's proved why we bought him. And again, someone who I couldn't be happier for.
Yeah, phenomenal. Look, people keep asking me in recent times, am I doing life lessons through football analogies? And I'm like, yeah, I think I probably am. If he isn't an example of what you can do in your life if you just believe in yourself and just keep going. Have you seen the tweet doing the rounds from like 2012?
Yeah.
He's basically saying, I'm skint. Imagine if you'd have said to that Robbo, just give it a few years, mate. You're going to be playing in the Champions League final. As Mo says, even if you'd have said to him last year, you're going to play in the Champions League final next year against Real Madrid and everyone's going to love you, they're going to be singing your name on the cop, he'd have been like, that's nuts, that can't happen. He's just, at the moment when, the one just towards the end when the Roma player like saw him out, it's clearly obstruction, and he thinks he's being a crafty Italian, and the Glaswegian fella just kicks him up the arse and says, you can fuck off, lad.
Yeah, not having this.
That's it, I'm not having this. This is just not, you don't get away with that with
and
me.
And then they clearly tried to kind of rile him up and to get him into trouble. And he was just not asked, just trotted back to the halfway line. It's like, yeah, you deal with your drama over there, lad. So, yeah, basically, as you can tell, we're happy. I think I'm probably a little bit drunk. This is kind of right. Ribena Absolute is a little bit more than 60-40.
I don't know why I haven't got a Ribena Absolute, by the way. I'm so thirsty. I'm going to need
okay, crack on. I mean,
it's actually good, you know.
I told
could
you.
be the new drink.
I told you. Like,
Mo doesn't believe me that my drink now is actually straight vodka. I've been preparing for Kiev for months. It's all been building to this moment.
And so should all of us, I have to say.
Absolutely.
It needs to be a 50-50 mix.
Face there with that pour.
So I'm going to dive into this now, allowing you guys to digest everything we've just said. We're going to go to the papers very soon. Back in this year. So here we are with the papers, and as I say, we're not going to change the subject. There is no other subject. This is the only thing happening today.
There literally isn't another subject.
Nothing happening today. Whatever you're doing after this video ends, not important. But what I wanted to highlight is the fact that there's some brilliant back pages out there. Go ahead, you'll be able to go and find them. Whatever country you're in is probably on the back pages. But we're on the front page. I mean, the Echo, obviously going to be on the front page. But we're on the front page nationally.
I want to say this, Mo. This is the National Daily Mirror Special Tribute Edition. Now, what you should all do with this is buy a copy of it and take it to your nearest Evertonian. And as a thank you for all the work they're doing, now we go to a Champions League final. You know, this is a thing of mine. It's a national thing. We should be grateful for their help. We're going to have loads of time off now. You should, when you finish watching this, have the rest of the day off. You'll be tired. You need to watch the game again. I think I'm going to speak to Paul Senior about putting some days on at Motel where we just watch all of the games back. And obviously the Evertonians are going to have to do our work on those days as well. So just make sure you get them the paper. They'll want this to keep. Have you seen, like the number we were saying before we started recording again? The only thing that's making this better is the reaction of all the other fans of other clubs who just aren't bothered, not bothered. You got to a European Cup final, don't care. You're just so lucky. Special tribute edition, buy one.
See, I want to just address the luck issue just slightly here. I mean, essentially, you can look at it and say there's been things that have gone for us in this run. As everyone out there on social media has pointed out. Strange that they haven't pointed out the things that have gone against us in this run, such as Milner's face, Milner's hands, and the other penalty that went against us, and countless other things. What they didn't also point out is how lucky Real Madrid have been on this run as well. So, you know, and it was really weird watching the game because it felt like the gods, the fates, couldn't decide who they were going to favour because sometimes they got lucky and then sometimes we got lucky, and it was almost like the Pope himself was like having a fight up there with somebody trying to decide.
Mo, I said this in my pre-match article. They've already had the miracle. They've cashed it. It's like playing Monopoly and getting you get out of the jail free card. You're going to cash that in the quarter final. You can't use it again in the semi, even if you do know the Pope and he lives down the road. You can't have that. The Pope's there himself going, "Come on, lads, this is unfair."
Yeah.
Was it not enough that Mo Salah didn't play properly? That was enough of a miracle for them.
Well, I think that's where the Pope was concentrating most of his energy.
I think so.
I want to talk again as an excuse to give me talk about Rome in general, and I hope that all of you have kind of seen the fantastic coverage that we've been doing out there in Rome. Fair play to all the lads out there. It's been some great stuff. And fair play to Romans and the city of Rome in general. It looks like not only have they had a fantastic time, but they were genuinely welcomed with open arms everywhere they went.
Yeah.
And there was no trouble, despite the fact that there were some people who were really hoping there would be. There was no trouble. In the end of the day, both teams came together for what was a fantastic feast of football, and that was the most important thing. And it really makes me pleased that we are not talking about anything apart from this football match.
Yeah.
With one exception. Now, I know any of you saw the TV coverage would have seen this and the lengths that Jordan Henderson went to make sure that he got that down from the stewards and that we all stood in front of it. And it's something we at the Wrap here echo, and I'm sure everyone out there who's read at heart echoes it as well. We were just chatting just now that we are actually looking forward to the day when Sean's okay and he's up and he gets to hear about how much people have cared about him and how far across the world his story has gone, because he'll be gobsmacked. He'll genuinely think that they're winding him up. But it's a beautiful thing that's come out of a horrible thing, and we always love it when that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I keep talking about everyone focusing on getting to the Champions League final and winning it, and I believe in the power of all of that, and the same applies to Sean. And it must be for, as you say, from such a horrible instance, it must be lovely for his family to see this as well and see everyone coming together. And yeah, just it'll be great when he's back fully fit again.
Yeah, and fingers crossed he'll be there live and in person in Kiev to be able to soak it all up. I don't know if I'll be there in Kiev, to be honest with you.
He will be.
You reckon?
Yeah, we've got to do the talking reds the next day together. This is the tradition now. We batter teams 2-4, and then we do the next day's talking reds.
I get drunk on your behalf.
Absolutely, we'll get really drunk in Kiev. We'll do it properly.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? No. Can you imagine?
I'm not going to bed.
Oh.
And I've got to show you this, by the way, when we're doing the papers. This is fantastic. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll have seen this already. This is a true story, which it sounds like I'm making it up, but this was on the train on my way into Liverpool City Centre this morning. A Daily Mail on the chair opposite me. So it's a piece of shit, basically. So I just threw it away. But then the woman opposite me picked it up and started reading it. And so she's reading it and looking at the front page. And this is what's on the back. This paper is from January the 8th. I don't know whether someone got on the train before me and thought, I'll leave this for Kopi to use on Talking Reds. This is brilliant. Look at this. Look at Coutinho's. Look at his happy, smiling face. How funny is it? Oh, how we laughed, Phil. Oh, how we laughed. I hope you're still laughing, mate. We were saying, does he still get his medal? Do you know if we send him a medal and the prick keeps it, he's more of a knobhead than we thought?
You know what I would love to do? I would love to send him a little box with a medal in it, but it's a chocolate medal. It's one of those chocolate jug medals that you got as kids. And so he's like, oh, he's so excited.
And a picture of Danny Ings with the Champions League winners medal. And I feel.
Now, I mean, I'm not going to lie, this has been a quite shambolic episode of Talking Reds, but I think that's fitting for the occasion because you guys are all feeling the same way. So, I mean, as always, there's probably shows coming out. We do something every day. I don't know what they are. Sam's going to make me look good later on.
Yeah,
but
it's ridiculous.
No,
Who knows?
Who knows?
We're in the Champions League final. Did we mention that?
Oh, shit, yeah.
I should have mentioned that.
So, yeah, that's all that matters. We watched a fantastic game of football, and in the end, our team were the better team, and we progressed to Kiev, to the Champions League final. I mean, we've got a couple of other games that are probably kind of important in between then, and there's going to be reviews where we dissect it bit by bit, but you know that's not what we're here for. No. We're here to say, hooray! We're in the Champions League final, and I hope you lot are enjoying it as much as we are. Up the Reds.